Alrighty guys, and what is going on back for another video, and I will say one thing. We are in the pure middle of winter, even though it quite literally doesn't even look like it. I've been loving the nice days, but it is that boring middle of the winter part where there's not many videos to make. And it's really weird and kind of crazy this year because there's no snow. It's January 2nd now, and there is no snow on the ground other than this little bit we have here. But I mean, we never were able to see this grass in January. So this is definitely a really weird year for sure. But I wanted to make a quick video on all the plants while I was here right now. So it was a real wet morning. It kind of rained and froze down here, which is not typical here. Like I said, it usually snows. It's been snowing up in Walkerville up there on the mountain there. But down here it's just been rain. So really wet look at the plants here today. You can see here's our juniper, and you can see it's got that dieback coming on it. It's pretty typical with this plant. It grows and then some dies, so I just keep trimming off the dead stuff and letting the live go. But we'll take a look at this as it continues to grow. See, it still looks real nice. They're kind of browning a little bit in the winter time. That's what they're supposed to do. Let's see if I can get that center of the way. Yeah, look at that. Pretty cool plant there. You can see that the darker stems from the wetness. Then we got the sedums obviously cut back and the holes out of the area here, which really clears up the area, makes it look kind of nice. And then here we got the little junipers. These are all getting pruned back in April. I'm gonna come in through here and prune all these back. They're not bad, but this one over here is pretty large. On the 15th of January, we're gonna take all the lights off of all the plants over here, which I have lights on that, and that. But we'll still get to them plants. But these here's that. This one here, they all have grown so well. This one here. And there one here. These ones grow pretty slow, but you can see they got some shoots on the bottom. And this one here, which we had to kind of level back there a little bit in the ground. We still got some green weeds down there. Kind of crazy. Little clovers. And then this again here. So there's these, and obviously the daylilies are all cut back to the ground. Nothing to cover there. The spireas here, have been real weird this season too. Usually they hold on to their leaves, but by this time, usually they're gone. This year they're holding on to them still, soaked and wet. And that's why I figured I'd cover this today, because it kind of looks a little crazy. So here's this one. You can see it still has a little bit of defoliation from the hailstorm that hit us in July there. But it'll be nice to cut back. This one here, the dogs ran through the back, so it's kind of smashed, but it still looks, like it's got full leaves. It's crazy. This area used to get just destroyed with dog poop because we'd shovel it all off the deck. Now at the potty area in the yard here, they poop a little more in the yard, so we got to keep this area a little cleaner. And obviously there's been no snow that we'd have to shovel onto them this year. Really weird. So there's that one. Holding on to their leaves pretty well, and we'll look at that more as we get to the front there. And then this one here, which I'm going to cut it back again, and we're just going to let it do what it wants to do next season. We'll just see what it does. Give it a fresh start again. We had to dig everything up for the sprinkler system there. And then here we have this one. This is the larger juniper. Let's see. So the lights are kind of making it harder to see its true shape right now, but you can see how much larger and how much growth it's put in some of these areas. And that's a full wooded stem. So it's definitely getting cut back this season, rounded out. Just on the brisk of being too long of a wait that I did there. We lost that sun again. That's what I hate, this cloudiness. Had a few sunny days and now it's cloudy. I should have filmed earlier. And then obviously they're dormant. Nothing's changed on them since the last time I filmed them. But they do look real nice in the landscape. This one here looks amazing. Hopefully we can keep it going. This one over here too, they're both doing well. This one here didn't do too well, but we'll get to that one. Anyway, and these don't let down in terms of winter interest. These two dogwoods. Jeez, my brain's going crazy. And last year in the spring, all the tips died. So I'm watching that closely this year on these tips. The buds should stay quite fresh. And with all the frost damage, you can actually see that still on the stems. But I'm going to try and leave them this year, depending on how they look in the spring. We'll see. Hopefully they can store enough water with all this, rain instead of snow we're getting. It's kind of weird. So there's that. Fountain's a little bit frozen. we don't cover these. So a little bit of water in there, but it shouldn't hurt it. It's thawing out pretty well today. Amazing looking pout in there. And then this dogwood. The same thing with this one. The buds still look viable right now. And it's still got frost damage. Or, hail damage from July there. Which was just crazy hailstorm. It just took everything out. So we'll see how these do with that damage. I'm going to try and leave these alone this season for pruning. And then here is the other one. Look at that. Potentilla. These are real cool today. They're glistening with water a little bit. Just these, I love these Mughal pines. They hold their colors so well in the wintertime. See, they're just nice and wet. You can see that water as I hit them there. Kind of come off there. Nice and wet. These are what these plants like. It drips down slowly and starts them watered in. We're going to get this cord mess out of here in my next update video in probably March. See how things go. But look at that. Even from the back, I don't really cover it much, but it's kind of cool to see the structure of the plants. So here's this one from the back. This one's harder to see the inner structure due to the lower to the ground nature of it. There's that. And this, obviously, I'm not even going to touch this. I'm just going to let it stay like this season, and we'll just see what it does there. All right, and then this. You can see this one here has lights too, and it's a lot easier to see the structure of this plant as it's more of an open structure, even though it's the same species. That's what's cool about them. They're all a little bit different, but they're looking really great right now. I will not be touching these either for pruning. All right. See, these dole out a lot more in the winter. They get a lot more dole color. In the front here, now this one was the one that held on to the most leaves. And this one I know gets the most frost in the morning for the longest, because the sun kind of scrapes down over there and comes over here. And sometimes this one doesn't get much sun. That might have a thing to do with it, but it kind of looks unique right now. And that's why I wanted to come out here and film. After that rain and the wetness and just all the sucky weather, you can see those leaves are almost just hanging straight down off the plant. Looks really nice, especially when you get up close and you can really just see how all that year's growth is really getting just deranged by the weather here. Some of the leaves are starting to turn white. It's all soggy. They don't really lose their leaves if you hit them. But see, we got pretty dense clusters on this plant. They've grown so much better this season after that cutback I did in the spring. We're going to cut them back to the ground again now that it's not so dense. It's just last year's growth. So we'll compare how they look now to how they look in April when we do the pruning. And obviously these are amazing. These made a huge recovery in June. I think I probably have videos of those. Huge recovery there on these. A little sun hits it. You can just see how nice and green they are now. And let's take a look over here at this one. This one, you can see here, half and half, kind of has more leaves over here and less over here. More of a redder tone than one over there. But yeah, crazy how they held on so much to the leaves. But it's looking great, and if we take a look like this, you can really see just how nice that is. And then this one here, oh man, this one did grow a lot better after the pruning because this was all rotted out in the middle. And so I got everything cut out. You've seen that in my video in April. And got everything clean. This one isn't holding on to as much leaves. These two seem to grow differently than the two end ones do. And this end one here, though, has a situation. The dogs. They've destroyed this whole area of the yard extremely. Look at this. Look at that. Just destroyed it. Chasing the neighbor's dog. That area and this area. You can see that damage there. And this plant should be okay. I mean, they're designed for this. It's still under the fabric, but you can see half of it has no leaves anymore because it was just destroyed. They run like crazy and they stop here and then turn around. So it's really a crazy area. But you can see half of it still has leaves. All of these stems are still green though. So if I do a scratch test, see, we definitely still have green in there. But they're all destroyed because the dogs run back and forth. I'm gonna give this a good round too, and we'll get it back to step one in the spring there, just like the rest. But anyway, and there's this plant here. I really like the design it has now. Kind of after I had to cut the front out. Looks a lot better there than having that dead front in there. But yeah, there's that side, and then here's this side. So that will be a quick update of those areas. And obviously these two trees here, we're not gonna touch again until probably 2 years down the road from now. Might next spring, but probably not. Probably gonna be a couple years down the road. So, see they are glistening with water as well. Really amazing trees. Kind of want to let them get a little bigger again before we go screwing with them. The ground, I might limb this one up a little bit in May, around that time. It's getting a little lower than that one over there. And the dogs, I don't want them damaging anything on it. They have lights too, which we got to take down. So yeah, that's a quick update of the yard here. Just wanted to get these shown here before April, you know, so we can see what changes in this time throughout these weather conditions and what kind of weather conditions we get this year. It's really a crazy year for weather. So yeah, we will see you guys in the next one.